Alright, hello, greetings, and welcome everyone to this news video where the gains you make are the friends along the way. Anyway, I am the Ninja here, and the topics we're covering today are as follows. Got a lawyer's opinion. Aptera on Bloomberg. Scotland prioritizes renewable energy. US battery storage increases. Solar and the bill. And things that I liked. Let's get started. Alright, so Aptera Owners Club held true to their promise of bringing back on this wonderful lawyer by the name of Heather Meeker. She talked about her opinions about the newest developments in the Aptera versus Zaptera case, and yeah, it was a very interesting video. If you haven't already checked it out, I would very much suggest you do. It gives a lot of insights that kind of put a different lens on the whole situation in a good way. So yeah, check it out if you haven't. Great video. Alright, so the first person that I saw that covered this particular bit of news was Free Power. They, oh, Holy Biscuits. I was not subscribed to them and I thought I was. That's probably why I've been missing their videos. Anyway, yeah, so this particular video was about Aptera showing up on BNN, which is Bloomberg News Network. It is a news network. Anyway, so they talked for a moment about the Aptera and they asked really good questions about what to expect from the Aptera. And we also got a small bit of new-ish news in the sense that he is expecting, Anthony is expecting for the Aptera itself to be released around mid next year. That timeline is going to consistently change until they've hit their funding targets. So yeah, I'm not really too terribly surprised about that in the long run. But yeah, basically he said, hey, we're going to be producing vehicles by this time next year, which is a fairly good indicator that they haven't found that inspired billionaire just yet. But there is a good chance that after they finish I guess the new accelerator program, the new incentive program, they will probably have the ability to cash in on some other types of funding and actually get to production. So assuming that happens, then I'm assuming it'll be like the number of people that have gotten onto the program has slowed down quite a bit. So, well, not quite a bit, but it's slowed down to a degree that I've noticed. And so it'll probably be August-ish by the time they get that thing filled. Well, no, maybe late July by the time they get it filled. So yeah, I'm, expecting that they can get ramped up after they get the money for whatever financing they're trying to do and get into production by next year. So yeah, mid next year is the new timeline based on this interview. Is the new timeline based on this interview. So yeah, just keep your ear to the ground for new information. I will make sure to report on it when I know it, when I see it, when I hear it, all that kind of stuff. Okay, this story warmed my heart because there has been a push for nuclear energy, and while I do agree that it is a very potent form of energy production, it is also potentially very expensive, and it takes a very long time to get the zoning rights and the place dug for the nuclear waste to go, and it takes a lot, billions and billions of dollars to put nuclear energy in and have it set up and actually working. So long story short, Scotland has decided to prioritize renewable energy instead of nuclear energy, and I love that because I believe that the entire world should be doing that because solar is so much easier, so much cheaper, so much more accessible. Actually, it might be too accessible. Yeah, I just threw my tinfoil hat on, I'm sorry, but what if the reason why people are trying to move into nuclear now, or rather big companies are trying to move into nuclear now because it's not accessible, because it's not easy to deal with, and they can make money off of it potentially forever. Yeah, that I'm gonna have to explore that on my own time. But yeah, don't quote me on that, but I think there might be something to that scenario. At any rate, the Scottish government will focus on renewable energy, not nuclear power. A government minister said, following information of significant funding for nuclear power plants in England. Basically, in England, they put together a large amount of money. I believe it's on here. Yeah, 2.5 billion euros in order to start building nuclear power plants. That's not going to be enough. And Scotland has basically said, no thank you to that. We're just going to keep focusing on renewable energy, solar, wind, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, in fact, they have a ban on new nuclear facilities, basically. Yeah, their government decided to block projects that were planning to develop nuclear energy specifically, while allowing all of the others. So yeah, that's the thing in Scotland. I'm glad to see it. It further goes on to say the Scottish government has previously rejected calls to end an effective ban on new nuclear stations. So not only do they have a ban, they refuse to lift that ban. Gillian Martin said, in Scotland we have a policy of no new nuclear. We think the investment is much better placed in areas of renewable energy, which is cheaper to produce and also cheaper for consumers. I agree with that wholeheartedly because the amount of time and energy it takes and money it takes to get a solar panel put down is much less than a nuclear power plant. Even dozens or hundreds of solar panels to the effect of making up the power for a nuclear energy power plant is less than a nuclear energy power plant, and faster and more effective, more efficient rather, from a logistical standpoint, and from it just altogether, solar and or wind is better than nuclear in a lot of different ways. Now, I'm not saying it beats it in every respect, because the power density, like how much power it produces for a given area, is better. But yeah, that doesn't matter if you're putting it on top of buildings, solar on top of buildings and stuff. So long story short, Scotland has the right idea, and I wish the US would do the same. US battery storage growth surges. This article was written by renews.biz. I've never heard of them in my life, but I did get a chance to verify that this is essentially true. They write here that the U.S. energy storage market grew 60% in 2024, which is accurate, and is on track to accelerate further despite signs of reduced federal support for renewables, according to Rystad Energy. Installations rose from 6 gigawatts in 2023 to 10 gigawatts in 2024, aka about a 60% growth, with an annual rate of 16 gigawatts expected by early 2026. So basically, over the course of 2025, they expect to install 16-ish gigawatts of batteries. The reason why this is significant is Trump is doing bills that will attempt to end government funding for renewable energy projects. The problem with that is, of course, that if you are a battery company, you would expect that market to start shrinking because people have less of an incentive to get that battery power. In spite of that, they are still expecting a rise in battery installation in 2025 compared to 2024. That is pretty darn awesome, and it brings me to the next article here that talks about tax cuts in the bill. I'm not calling it that. Could kill solar power progress. Solar has been the fastest growing source of electricity in the U.S. Yes, for 2 years now, I believe. Proposed federal cuts to tax credits could halt that progress. I disagree with her assessment that it could halt the progress. It could hamper the progress and slow it down a bit, but I do not believe fundamentally that they are going to be completely stymied by this. It is not going to help, but it's not going to stop it completely. This article says, in its current draft form, the bill proposes ending the residential clean energy tax credit, which allows residents to get 30% off the cost of new clean energy projects like solar panels, geothermal heat pumps, and battery storage. It would also end a 30% tax credit for companies that lease solar panels to homes and businesses. The bill has already left the House, where it passed by one vote and is currently being debated in the Senate. So generally speaking, renewable energy is going to have a rough next few years. but I still think by and large they will grow as a share of total power in being installed. So yeah, it sucks if this does pass, and I hope it does not pass, but if it does, we gonna be all right. All right, so for the first thing that I like this week, Drive the Lightning put out a fantastic video about this GoSun.co solar panel array that you put on top of your car and charge your car with. It is a very interesting product. Now that they're starting to get into more mass production, apparently, we're Drive the Lightning is covering them, and I am covering them as a result of them covering them as a concept. Long story short, it looks pretty neat. They promise about 20 miles per day from the sun, which is nice. It's no Aptera, but it is very nice. When I get an electric car, whichever electric car I end up getting, if it is, I'm getting an Aptera and then something else. I don't know whether or not that's going to be a Rivian or a Tello yet. Just kind of depends on when I get the money together and whether or not Tello is actually out. But anyway, yeah, when that second EV comes along, I'm probably going to end up picking this thing up in order to charge that vehicle by the sun as well. Man, I'll tell you what, Aptera Owners Club is very good at making e-bikes look very, very attractive to a person who exercises fairly frequently and would like to alternate between propulsion and, I guess, human leg power when I am exercising. This particular video is over the Sizzlebk. I'm going to call it the Sizzlebk because I think it is the Sizzlebk. But yeah, the Sizzlebk S220. Yeah, this bike is pretty neat. I like how it is set up and assembled more or less already, minus the the major brackets and things like that. Like it's not assembled in the sense that you could just throw the wheels on it and go, but it has fewer pieces than I've seen other e-bikes have. So yeah, anyway, long story short, good review. Check it out if you guys haven't already. I enjoyed it very much, and I am consistently being pushed towards getting an e-bike just because of these reviews and him showing the options for different bikes and different things like that. So good times. This will be the end of the video for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. I am the Ninjaneer. If you like this video, please do all of the YouTubey things, and I'll catch you guys next time.